The most overlooked weather seal in your home is at the bottom of your exterior doors. And I bet you've never replaced it. But how do you know that you actually have a problem with it? Well, there are some things you'll want to look out for and some considerations you need to make in order to replace that seal when it's time. But how do you do it? Well, I'm going to take my garage door off and show you a couple of things to keep in mind. There's generally 3 ways you can test to see if your bottom seal is going to be an issue. The first is to see if there's any daylight showing through the bottom of the door. And you can just get down and take a quick peek. You may be able to see it from a distance pretty easily. If you feel a draft coming in through the bottom of your door, that's also a telltale sign that you need to replace that seal or make an adjustment. I'll come back to that in a minute. And the last point is insects. Do you see bugs coming in around the bottom of your door? Because if you do, that could also be a sign that that seal is failing and needs to be replaced. So now we need to take the door off in order to inspect that seal. Removing your door should just require the removal of 3 pins that you have at the bottom, middle, and top. And I like to use a Torx screwdriver. All you need is a small flathead or a small Phillips head that will fit up in the hole underneath and a good old hammer to tap it out. Doing a quick inspection of this seal, there are definitely some cracks and some parts where it's peeling off here. To get this off, you want to take quick note of the end of the seal, because like mine, you may have staples in here that are holding it in place, or potentially a screw or a nail. You'll want to remove that before you start to pull any of this off. Now here's where we want to pause for a second, because once you get those staples, nails, or screws removed, you want to inspect to see what type of seal you have on the bottom. And there's a few different kinds that these bottom door seals can be. So let me walk you through each. Your seal may slide onto the door, and if it does, when you pull the end out, you're going to notice that the end looks something like this. It's not going to have any big guardrails or big kerf pieces sticking out here. It's going to have these rails that you slide onto the door, and then it just goes down the door like this. Be careful not to just rip it off, because if you do, you can damage the bottom of the door, and then you're gonna have a bigger problem. You may also have something on the bottom of your door that looks kind of like the weather stripping that goes around the side, and as I mentioned, it is a kerf rail. So you have these barbed splines that go up and down the entire length of this weather stripping, and they fit into the door. Now, this is what I have on my door, and I knew that because as soon as I pulled it back, I could see the splines pulling out of the door rather than being hooked on a rail system on the door itself. Those are 2 that you're probably going to find most often. You may also have a bit of a universal system where it's just a flat bottom. It has no rails on it. It has no kerf that you install inside the bottom of the door. This could be glued, nailed, or screwed onto the bottom of the door. So if you have more connection points all the way down your weather stripping on the bottom of the door, you may have something like this in place. Outside of these options, you might have like a boot that goes around the bottom. This one I have in plastic here, I'm not gonna pull it out, but it wraps all the way around the bottom of the door. You may also have a sweep on the door that attaches to the side and is screwed into the door. So just keep an eye on what you have on your door and replace it with a like weather strip. But for me, it's the kerf strip, so now I need to get it out without losing those splines in the door. With this kerf style weather stripping, I like to get my fingers around the edges and gently peel back all the way down the length of the door bottom until it gives, and then you can start to pull out. If you pull from the end and just pull down, you will rip away from those kerf pieces that are in the door, and it becomes a little bit more tedious to get it out. Certainly something you can do, but by prying your fingers or getting another tool under the sides, you can start to work it out of the bottom of the door easily. So if you have the kerf weather stripping at the bottom of your door, you'll notice that you have those 2 open slots, the 2 kerf marks at the bottom of the door that the new piece will go into. But if you look up at the top, you'll notice that it doesn't go all the way to the edge. And when you look at your new piece of weather stripping, it does. So when we measure and cut this, we have to cut these splines back a little bit in order to get it back to where the inset is in the door. Otherwise, it's not going to go in. Your new piece of weather stripping is slightly longer than the door in most cases, so you will need to measure and cut. And when you cut, you want to get a nice straight cut across. I'm probably just going to use a sharp pair of scissors or maybe some tin snips that I know will get through this pretty easily so that I can get that straight cut. But then we also need to cut those splines back just a little bit so that they don't go all the way to the edge, because there's no grooves for the kerf there. With the cut made to length, now we need to cut our splines back slightly. And for me, I've got to come back about 3/4 of an inch to where my kerf marks start. The tin snips did not give me a nice clean cut or flush cut on these barbs here. So I'm actually going to use my Leatherman to trim them down so that they're flat. With all of the cuts made, we need to get it in the door. And to do so, you'll want to line the end up with the edge of the door so that it is as flush as possible before you start pushing those splines into the kerf on the bottom of the door. But once you have it lined up, now you can start to push it in. And now you can either staple or nail the ends into the bottom of the door to hold it in place. Now, before you put your door back in, you want to know that there are adjustments on your threshold. Mine are covered with these little rubber gaskets at the top. You can easily take those out and that will expose the screws within the threshold. You can move the threshold up and down once you have this new seal on your door in order to get a proper fit at the bottom of the door. You have to screw opposite directions. So if you want it to go down, you have to screw to the left. If you want it to come up, you want to screw to the right. Just keep that in mind. It's going to feel opposite, and that's because it basically is. Getting the door back on by yourself can be a pain in the butt. So if you have someone who can help you, enlist their help, because these exterior doors can get kind of heavy. But I like to start by lining up my bottom pin, getting it placed in there, lining up my middle pin. Sometimes I'll do middle then bottom, whatever you're most comfortable with, and then get that top pin in place real quick. That'll hold it in place enough for you to grab your hammer and start getting these pins in place. And now we just need to test the closing of the door. You're likely going to notice it's a little bit tighter than it has been because you have a brand new seal on there that's not crushed up against the bottom of the door. And it is a little bit tight. So I'm going to adjust my threshold down slightly just to make sure that it's not super tight. But by quick inspection, I can see I don't have any light coming in, and there's no way I'm going to feel a draft with that new one in there. But what happens when your seals around your door, the side and the top weather stripping, start to fail? Well, for more information on that, click or tap on this video. And until the next time, keep doing it yourself.